This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Phil from underKG.com, and this is the Galaxy On7 2016. In most of the regions, it's sold as the Galaxy J7 Prime 2016, and the amount of RAM and storage may vary depending on the nation that you purchase this guy on. So let's dive right in. Inside the packaging is the phone itself. On the back of the packaging, there is a simple details about the phone. It's made out of metal, 13 megapixels of camera, and with the 8 megapixels of the front-facing camera. There's a fingerprint scanner, LTE, blah, 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 and we are going to skip right away to the phone. So here is the phone itself. It's definitely made out of metal. I can just feel that. And before we go on to the details, let's go quickly on to the rest of the packaging. Here's a quick user guide, which doesn't really tell you much about it. And here is the charger. And unfortunately, this does not support quick charge. It limits itself at 5 volts 1.55A. That's a very interesting number there. It's definitely not one of those quick chargers available in the market. And here's a micro USB cable. Unlike the 2017 series of the Galaxy A family, this still has a micro USB. And here is a set of earphones, nothing fancy, just a typical Samsung's bundled earphones. I think this actually even has a model code. EHS64AV, whatever. That's not really a fancy pair of headphones, but still better to have that than to not have any pairs of earphones included. So here is the phone itself, and we're going to slide that open. And what you see over here is a 5.5 inches of a full HD display. Under that is a multitasking key, home key, and the back key. And by the fact that these have the icons that are visible all the time, you can pretty much safely assume that these do not have the backlist behind that. There's an 8 megapixels of a camera that's wide angle, receiver, Samsung logo, and on the right hand side there's a power key, and a speaker, interestingly, is on the very top of the phone. And this seems like a very interesting choice since it's less likely to be blocked by your hands. Let's say that you're holding your phone like this with your palm, then if your speaker were to be here or there at the rear of the phone, it would get easily blocked. But there is a position very unlikely to be held, because even if you're lefty, you would pretty much hold your phone like this, so you'll have less portions of the screen to be blocked by your palm. So that being said, on the left-hand side is a volume rocker and the SIM card tray that allows you for the SD card expansion as well. This one comes in 16 gigabytes, but depending on the region, of course, it could come in 32 gigabytes. But in any circumstances, it's always a good thing to know that you have a way of expansion those memories. On the rear is a little sticker, tells you the serial number and the IMEI. On the rear is a camera, LED flash, and the carrier logo, a little Samsung logo, and that's pretty much it. You can safely assume that this is metal, while these parts are made out of plastic to make the signals go through, or not, I'm not entirely sure, but you can see that those two colors are a bit different than the one in the very center. So let's go ahead, power this on, and go through the settings. While it boosts itself up, let's do a little size comparison with another 5.5 incher. The most well-known 5.5 incher iPhone 7 Plus is over here, and you can see that the 7 Plus, while sharing the same screen dimension, has a larger bezels up and down, so it has bigger physical dimensions over there. Aside from that, very similar. Okay, so we're at the settings, and let's skip this through. Okay, with the series settings, we're now into another Samsung TouchWiz experience, and here's the home launcher. There's an apps button. It's just like any other Samsung phone, except for the fact that it still is missing the ambient light sensor. Instead, you can control it manually, obviously, and there's an outdoors mode, so if you tap that, it's going to light up the screen at the maximum brightness for 15 minutes, and after that, you'll be back to your normal indoor brightness. So you don't have a sensor there. And another thing that is missing is a compass, so when you're in the maps, you will not be told of your direction. You have to find it out yourself. That's one of the main disadvantages about the J series. Some people don't really care about it, I do, and it's running Android 6.0.1 at the security patch level of November 1st. This may not be the latest version, so that could get updated as we proceed with the updates. As a pleasant surprise, it has 3 gigabytes of RAM, and if you kill everything aside, you'll get around 1.5 gigabyte of RAM left to yourself. And as of storage, out of 16 gigabytes, you will have 10.36 gigabytes left to your personal files or photos. Of course, again, you can expand that further through a SIM card tray that shares the space with the micro SD card expansion. So that is the Galaxy J7 Prime 2016 or the On7 2016, depending on your region. This seems like a very well-built device. We'll have to spend a bit more time to know this phone a little better to see if this really is worth that $350 of a price tag that it's asking for. So we'll get back with the review fairly soon, I hope. And until then, this was the Samsung Galaxy J7 Prime or On7 2016. Thank you all for watching. You can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we'll see you guys later. Ciao.